I'd like to call the June 17, 2024 meeting of the City Council for the City of Lake City. If everybody would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation to be given by Vice Mayor, Councilmember J. Kill Jr.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to see another day, Father. Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you just look over our meeting, Father. We ask that everything we decide is pleasing in your sight, Father. Father, we ask that you just lead us and guide us in the way that you would have us to go. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Ms. Cyrus, please call the roll.
Mr. Jernigan?
Present.
Mr. Hill?
Here.
Ms. Young? Here. Mr. Carter?
Present.
Mayor Witt?
Here.
Mr. Rosenthal?
Here.
Mr. Martin?
Here.
Chief Butler?
Here. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lake City Council has opened this public meeting since 1968. The city code has prohibited any person from making personal and pertinent Islamic remarks becoming boastful while addressing the city council. Yelling or making audible comments from the audience constitutes boisterous conduct. Such conduct will not be tolerated. There's only one approved manner of addressing the city council. That's to be recognized and speak from the podium. As a reminder, persons are not to openly carry a handgun or carry a concealed weapon or firearm while the governing body's meeting. Failure to abide by these rules of decorum will result in removal from the meeting. Okay, the next item is approval of the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Got a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No proclamations, public participation. I have a couple, Noah Walker. Congratulations, Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Mayor Witt. Noah Walker, 1400 Northwest Ricketson Glen. Appreciate it. Congratulations, Mr. Witt. And as the mayor-elect, I just wanted to ask three things of you. A personal creed of mine is that I would never ask or direct somebody to do something that I haven't tried or am not willing to do myself. So I've spoken with a couple of the directors this afternoon here at this gathering. I'd also like to offer here publicly myself as a frontline intern for any department in Lake City so that I can get to granularly know the operations of the city, which I think will make me a better leader of the entity. Right? And I know that the council has no day-to-day operational management. However, I think that's really important to know. So that is my ask to you, the department heads of Lake City. Call me, use me, let me dig a ditch or do something that you do for the public good. My second ask is for a public works priority list with timelines. Dee and I spoke briefly about this just a little bit ago. I think it's pretty reasonable and pretty doable. I think that it would help citizens here in our community understand what's coming down the line, when they can expect to see things. I think it's really good for the council as well, and being able to speak to some of those projects coming up, if that makes sense. And then my third ask is a little more complex, and I'll give you some background, which you guys all probably know. 10 years ago, downtown Lake City struggled. We didn't quite have the social atmosphere that we do now, and the businesses, the restaurants, the families walking around the lake, if that makes sense. And certain parts of downtown Lake City still struggle. My ask on this is there's a very complex issue with Lakeshore Hospital Authority Board and the closed lake across the closed facility across the lake. They are currently in the midst of making a decision to give that facility over to Meridian Behavioral Health, which is a good organization. However, I think that this council and the administration of the city should be well aware of the intentions of that property to become either a lockdown facility for mental health patients, or to become a lockdown and a release clinic, essentially. Meridian does already have a facility operating here within the bounds of Lake City, which is their clinic down on Michigan Street. And what I would ask the city to do is develop a plan of action to work with Lakeshore Hospital Authority to maybe present them a palatable alternative to what they're doing, and or give them some social guidance on, if I may,
Sure.
on really making that contract strict with Meridian, between Lakeshore Hospital Authority and Meridian, to know and be very clear about what that hospital can be used for and how it can be regulated. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Bowden? Hey,
Mr. Noah,
Yes.
Mary Lake Noah, I think the city has something in progress about talking with the Lakeshore Authority about that hospital.
It's if I may, one further thing. They are a reputable company. Mental health is a big issue, not only here locally, in the state and nationwide, but I think that we need to understand as a community that one thing in the perpetuity of that contract, one bad thing coming out of that facility could ruin everything that's happened here downtown over the last 10 years and ruin everything going forward. One incident.
thank you. Mr. Bowden?
Mr. Mayor, Councilwoman Young, Councilman Carter, Vice Mayor Hill, this will be the last time I think I'm going to stand before the City Council and talk about the pay raise except for the next item 13. On May the 20th, the City Council voted against accountability and against transparency. But the council voted not to enact the ordinance that was put before them at that particular time. My wife seemed to think that the members of the City Council don't understand what I was trying to say. She thinks that the City Council members who voted for it think that I'm opposed to them getting a raise. That's the first thing from the truth. I'm not concerned about the amount of raise. I'm not concerned about the cost of living raise. I'm concerned about the process. A process that I voted for some years ago on the City Council. A process that allowed us then to keep it out of the sunshine. Every year, Mayor, I was on council 60, every year after that, we voted to give the City Council, to give the employees a raise. The City Council got one. Not one time did a member of the public speak to it. Why? Because it was hidden from them. Nobody was paying attention. And I enjoyed that. It was wrong then, it's wrong today. Transparency and accountability is the bedrock of local government. If you don't stick to that, then what it's about? It was transparency, the lack of transparency, that led the North End of Lake City to be in the shape it's in today because nobody was paying attention and it wasn't in the sunshine. So it's important to me, it's important to me as a former city councilman, it's important to me as a taxpayer, that we have some say-so as citizens in this process. And I feel very strongly about it, that other people in the community feel strongly about it. One of the things that I found, Mayor, in going around is people, just yesterday out in Walmart, guy came to me, I don't know him. Mr. Bowden, I said, how you doing? He said, you don't know me, and I don't agree with anything you say in the past, but I agree with you on this. The City Council don't need a raise. I said, I'm not against the raise. He said, no, I think they need to have an open process. And Mayor, I'm using this time for this because I know when we get to item 13, we still have the 3 minutes, so I want to kind of lay the groundwork where I'm coming from. But it's insulting, frankly, as a taxpayer, for the City Council to assume that we as citizens can't participate in that process. A resolution is not a tool that will prevent you from getting a raise. A resolution just allows the public to have some input. It just opens the doors up. And for the life of me, I can't see anybody would be opposed to that. In particular, I can't see anybody who know what it's like to live on the north end of town where the lack of transparency has been our downfall for years and we suffer from even today. So I laid on the groundwork, Mayor, so when we go into item 13, I will have a lot more to say about it in terms of where we're headed from this point on.
Okay. That's all I have to do. Next is consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the consent agenda, all in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, we're at the presentation. The first one is Victoria Coker.
Ladies and gentlemen of the City Council, good evening. My name is Victoria Coker, 636 Southeast Bay Drive. I am the youth chair of the Ambassador Leadership Council under the umbrella of It's About My Efforts. I'm here to extend my gratitude on behalf of the organization, youth participants, and families. With your support, we had an amazingly successful Youth Leadership Week. This year, we met and engaged with students from the 3 counties in grades 6 through 12. We also met with community leaders, government officials, law enforcement, and first responders, and explored both military careers and careers in media and communication. The participants had a wonderful day at Itchnatucky Springs, learned chess at Darby Pavilion, encompassed in a youth festival, and we were able to help clean up a portion of the city with the help of city workers. The activities ended at a celebratory recognition at the Blanche Hotel, where we were able to share local history to be proud of with families and from those counties. And I'm so proud to say thank you to Mayor Witt, Assistant Chief Miles, the interim city manager, Dee Johnson, Terry Phillips, and the entire city crew for the lessons we learned throughout Youth Ambassador Leadership Week, for the impression we were able to leave on the other student participants who were able to contribute and help us make us better. I am inspired and motivated to carry forward the lessons learned and grateful for your ongoing support. We look forward to the next Youth Leadership Week being even better and brighter as we together build a brighter future for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next presentation is Staff Sergeant Jacob Burgess.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I did have a presentation that went along with this. Appreciate it. You'll have to be my page turner if you don't mind. I appreciate it. So my name is Staff Sergeant Burgess. I'm a recruiter with the Florida Army National Guard. My office is located over here at the National Guard Armory here in Lake City. And I was asked to come give a recruiting presentation to the town leadership. So my first question is, why do we have a National Guard? A lot of people are kind of confused about our role, who we are, what we do. So you can go to the next slide. So this is a great example here. This was Hurricane Ian, and we all know Adelia just was a pretty hard hitter this past year. But this was Hurricane Ian. You can see it knocked out this roadway, and it connects to all these islands that have thousands of people that live on them. And when you have a situation like this, your first responders can be overwhelmed, and that's when your National Guard will get activated, and we'll come in and support the first responding effort. So that's an example of hurricanes. Next one is wildfires. People tend to forget Florida is a wildfire state. We do burn, and your National Guard was here in action. I think the last big fire in Columbia County was a bugaboo fire. It was many years ago. National Guard was activated for that. We do support other states also during their wildfires. Go to the next one. Flooding. That's a big one that we do respond to. We have these vehicles that have snorkel kits on them. We can forge through those floodwaters, and we have swiftwater rescue teams, and we'll come in and help with that search and rescue effort. You can go to the next one. So I told you what the National Guard does, but who are we? Again, I get a lot of confusion about who we are. So you can see on my uniform here, it says U.S. Army, right? So we are U.S. Army soldiers. We go through Army training. We serve in the same type of job capacity. We learn the same thing. So we are U.S. Army soldiers. We're just not in the active U.S. Army. We're in our own branch called the National Guard. So we're Army soldiers. Now we don't serve full time. This is a part-time obligation. It's 2 days a month and 2 weeks a year. So this is going to be something that members of the community can do while they have a full-time job. You can participate in the National Guard. That picture there is just a picture of our search and rescue team loaded up in the back of one of our Chinook helicopters. And you can go to the next slide. Another great picture of, we have an urban search and rescue team. They do extraction or complicated rescues. The picture here is this young lady training. God forbid if a building collapses, you're going to want a team to show up to help pull you out of that rubble pile. All right, go to the next one. So these are the different military components. I'm actually missing one. I don't know if you guys can figure out which one I'm missing, but anybody know? Space Force, all right, good. So you can see on the far left column, those are your active duty branches, your men and women that serve full time. And the center column, that's the active duties backup team, the reserves. And then you have the National Guard out there to the right. I put this up here because, again, there's a lot of confusion between National Guard and reserves. Even my own family sometimes they'll ask me, well, how long have you been in the reserves now? I'm not really in the reserves, I'm in my own component. Difference is, those first two columns are federal troops. They're taking orders from Washington, D.C. The National Guard, we're taking our orders from the governor. Our actual motto is Florida First. Now, just a disclaimer, we can be activated by the president. That's not who we report to, throughout our time. Okay, you can go to the next one. These are all the different locations. We have about 67 or 63 different armories located across Florida. There's about 10,500 of us in the state. And we have one in Live Oak and the one here in Lake City are the two closest ones. Yep, go to the next one, thank you. Just for fun, I put this one back up here. Which one do you think is the biggest component? Now, when I put this together, I chose the Navy. I figured the Navy is the biggest branch. What do you guys think? Any guesses? Army, okay, some people say Marines. Second biggest, I chose Air Force. But let's go to the next slide and we'll see how we stack up. So you can see National Guard is actually the second biggest branch. Not saying we're better than the other branches by no means. I'm just giving you an idea of how big this organization is. We are the second biggest component. We make up about 39 to 40% of the total Army force. So this is a big part of our military. With being so big and having billions of dollars in our budget, we have some great benefits that a lot of the young people in this community can take advantage of. So I'll go over those next. Anybody that joins the National Guard is going to get 100% fully paid college tuition for a bachelor's and a master's degree to any college here in the state of Florida. If that young person wants to go to Florida State, we pay 100%. UCF, FAMU, UWF, Florida Gateway, Santa Fe, every single publicly funded college here in Florida is 100% paid for, including fees and books. If that young person's not college bound and they're interested in going to a vocational or a trade program, same thing, we're going to pay 100% as long as it's a legitimate program. We're also going to pay you while you're in. You go to the next one, thank you. So in addition to the college benefits, now remember this is a part-time job. You're coming in 2 days a month. We're going to call you in during those hurricanes, and then we're going to pay you. As a college student, you're going to make the most money. So I have the pay broken down. The one that says drill pay, that's what you're going to get for those 2 days. $302 for 2 days worth of work. If you're a college student, we're going to add $466 to that. If you get over a 50 on the ASVAB, we're going to kick in $350 extra dollars for a total. A lot of my students are making $1,100 a month just for a part-time job and attending school. Also, if you get over a 50 on the ASVAB and pick our top 2 jobs, you can get a $20,000 enlistment bonus. So those benefits that I just showed you is kind of what got me in the door. It's why I joined. I grew up in Live Oak, graduated Swanee High School, joined the National Guard. But really why I stayed in for 23 years is this picture right here. Going out and helping people during times of need is ultimately what meant the most to me over time. I did end up going to college. I went to Florida Gateway, Santa Fe, and the University of Florida. But this right here is what kept me in for all this time. All right, so training in the National Guard. So we are going to train you in a job of your choice when you join. It's based on your score when you take the test, the ASVAB. But we'll go over some of those. We have some great programs. We have a lot of trade skill jobs. I chose heavy equipment operator. That's the one I picked. But we have plumbers, carpenters, interior electricians. So what does this mean? It means we're going to send you to the U.S. Army School for Interior Electricians. You're going to come home with a certificate and a transcript saying you're a trained electrician. I'm not saying you can go out and instantly get a job as a master electrician, but you'll have enough on your resume where you could get started in that field. And that's a skill set that's valuable. There's some good money to be made in all of those there. Go to the next one. Mechanics is a big one. We have a lot of diesel mechanics in the National Guard. Again, a very good skill set. You're going to come home with a U.S. Army transcript and certificate saying you're a trained diesel mechanic. Helicopter mechanics, jet engine mechanics. We all know we have HACO here in Lake City, right? All right, those skills are in demand, and we do have a lot of National Guard members that work over there. Go to the next one. We have technology and aviation careers, computer IT, satellite. So those top two there, computer IT, satellite communications, cyber network, those are all six-figure paying jobs. A lot of them are, especially with the military certifications. You come home with a security clearance and a resume that says you're authorized to work on a defense network, somebody's gonna pick you up for a job. We have, yeah, you can go to the next one, thank you. Logistics and administrative jobs. Logistics is a big one. I know we have Amazon, UPS, FedEx, material handlers, financial management, paralegals. Next one is medical. We have healthcare specialists, nurses, radiologists, and physicians. You gotta have that degree first, but we'll help pay for it. And the last one should be, if you can go to the next one, sir. Last two, we have law enforcement careers. So we have human intelligence collector, intel analyst. We do have military police. And then the final one is combat jobs. If you want to kick indoors and blow stuff up, we got that too. So there's a lot that the National Guard can offer. That's my contact information there. I am the recruiter here in Lake City. I've been the recruiter here in town for about 10 years. And I'll leave it open for any questions.
Yes, I got one question for you. How old do you have to be to become a soldier or in the National Guard?
Yes, sir. So the age, minimum age is 17 years old. You can be a junior in high school as long as you're 17 with parent permission. You can join the National Guard. Our cutoff age is 35, and we do have some waivers. Depends on the person, but we do waivers 37, 38.
So,
As I'm just saying, I'm not the waiver authority, but
yes, so 17.
17 to 35 is.
Yes, so 17 years old. We have a lot of teenagers here
Yes,
in Lake City, of course. Everybody's looking for something to do. They're looking for a career
Right.
of some sort. And what you're telling me, what you're offering these teenagers, juniors in high school, a career.
Correct.
And
Absolutely.
by doing that, they get a chance to do exactly what they want to do. If they want to knock down doors and they want to shoot, they got the they'll have the right job and get paid to do that job. Am I correct?
100%. Not only that, they'll earn some. They're gonna have pride. They're gonna have some honor instilled in them. They're gonna have some discipline. All around, it's a good program for any young person. You know, fundamentally changed my life for the better.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming.
All right. Thank you.
Staff Sergeant, I don't have any questions.
Yes.
I want to say I appreciate your military service.
Well, thank you. I
really
appreciate that.
it.
Thank
And I
you.
want to say this to you. I tried to get my son to go to the military,
Right.
and he said to me, Mom, I don't want to go to war. I said, you're in war on the streets with no benefits.
Amen.
And that is
That's
so
right.
true today.
That's a good thing.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't fix you there.
Okay, next is under old business, we have a discussion on the council pay raises that Mr. Bowden just spoke of, and I want to say a couple of things before he does come back up. Back, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, Ms. Moses, when she was on the board, asked the council to pass up any pay raises during that time, and we voted to do that, and we didn't get pay raises for I don't know how long. I don't know. We've had many over the years. But then we found out just recently that we couldn't pass them over because the ordinance says we had to take them. So that's when this came up about changing the ordinance and putting it in there where we had to pass a resolution or something. So that's how that came about, but for years we didn't. And I know this council voted not to do it. And Mr. Bowden is adamant that he wants to do it. And he's gonna speak about 3 different options. Us reconsidering it as a council, us putting it on the, this ballot, which we could do pretty reasonably, or a special election, and that would be expensive. When I got elected, it was a special election in 2005, and it cost $45,000 at that time. So we're thinking at least 60, 70 now. So that's kind of what we're looking at, and that's gonna be the council's decision to do something or nothing, but I'll turn it back over to Mr. Bowden and let him speak. I misquoted something. Correct.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I guess I missed the point about the consent agenda, so resolution going forward to follow the consent agenda. As
No, I said if If we did a resolution, it'd be a.
No, I'm talking about on this agenda, you got a resolution, is that considered part of the consent agenda?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything through item 10.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
I didn't realize that. So in order to speak to a resolution, then you have to take out the consent agenda?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right, I'm not opposed to that. But again, Mr. Mayor, thank you for putting this back on the agenda, because I want the city council and the public to understand what our options are as a community and what the options are for you all as a city council. You voted for it, and if the heels are dug in, that's fine. I'm not here to try to convince anybody to change their mind. I'm at that point now, it's on you. But I do know, from having served before, that any member of the prevailing side, that's Mr. Hill, Ms. Young, or Mr. Jennifer, can bring this issue back up and revisit. Then it'll go away. The other option would be that this city council can vote to have it placed on the general election, that's in the November election, as an amendment to the charter. You know, the election already taking place, it won't be that big of a cost to the city of Lake City. It won't anything be specified. And you can do that. During our last meeting, one member of the city council said that he wanted the public house to be put, that one person shouldn't have this decision. I agree. Let the public decide. Put it on the ballot. I have no doubt 80%, maybe even 90% of people will vote for the ordinance that would require the city council to get a raise to have a resolution. The other option, Mr. Mayor, is the one that you spoke on that could be costly. And you need to understand that cost would be costly because of your inaction. If the gentleman got available, I want to read this two paragraphs at the top.
Okay.
In the Florida statute, section 166031, it says charter amendments. The governing body of a municipality made by ordinance or by the electors of a municipality made by petition signed by 10% of the registered electors at the last presiding municipal election, submit to the electors of said municipality a proposed amendment to its charter, which amendment may be to any part or to all of the said charter except for the part describing the boundaries of the municipality. The governing body of the municipality shall place the proposed amendment contained in the ordinance or petition to a vote of the electors at the next general election held within the municipality or at a special election called for such a purpose. That's your option. Now, you don't have it automatic. There will have to be a paid political action committee, have to be money raised, have to be a campaign. That can happen. I believe that citizens now will vote for anything that will take their money. People want transparency. So, as I said earlier, I'm not trying to convince you to change your mind. I am trying to convince you to put it before the voters. And the voters should have something to say about this. If this city council don't believe that they are right and the voters have nothing to say about it, that's fine. Then the voters have to do it themselves. And if the special election ends up costing us $30,000, $40,000, it would not be Glen Allen's fault. It would be the fault of the city council for not adhering to transparency and accountability. And that's the bottom line, man. I am not going to keep arguing, fighting about something as simple as transparency and accountability. If there's something wrong with this picture, I don't see anything wrong with the opportunity for the citizens to have something to say. Now, why I say it's not transparent? If you go back to the budget process, the charter says that any raise you give to employees is automatic for the city council. It can be 5%, 1%, 2%, 10% a cost of living. And I don't believe that if the budget is good, tax money is good, workers doing a good job, and the city council decide the employees y'all did so good with a good job, you all, the city employee did a good job, we'll give you 10%. Well, because the city employee did a good job, because the economy is good, that don't mean that the city council should get 10% because it's built in. So what I'm suggesting to you is that either revisit it based on the ballot, when you start the budget process, I would encourage you, the prudent thing to do, and I'm serious, But be sure you let the city manager know that you need to petition for a special election, because I don't see no way around it not passing. I see no way around that we will not get 10% of the voters. I think they're gonna be easy to do. We can do it through the primary election process, standing at the poll, as people come out, signs right here. At general election and signing, we get 10% without any doubt. So that's my spiel, Mayor. I hope that the city council will consider at least placing on the ballot. If not, then we do what we have to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we're moving to ordinances. We have City Council Ordinance 2024-2286 on first reading. Mr. Parker, would you read that by title?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Council members have ordinance 2024-2286 before you, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Lake City, Florida, closing, abandoning, and vacating a utilities easement for HCA Florida Lake City Hospital pursuant to application VRW 24-03 submitted by same, finding, abandoning, and vacating said utilities easement will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute such quitclaim of easements as are necessary to effectuate the intent hereof, directing the city attorney to prepare said quitclaim of easement, finding it is in the best interest of the city and for the general welfare of its citizens to vacate said easement, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Should the council wish to adopt this ordinance on first reading, the appropriate motion would be to adopt ordinance number 2024-2286 as read by title only.
Okay. It's time agreement to adopt the City Council Ordinance 2024-2286 on first reading. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I make the most approved ordinance 2024-2287, excuse me, 86. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion by council? Ms. Sykes, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Mayor Whit?
Yes. Okay, next is item 15, City Council Ordinance 2024-2287 on first reading. Mr. Mark, would you read that by title?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council members, you have before you ordinance number 2024-2287, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Lake City, Florida, closing, abandoning, and vacating a utilities and drainage easement for Clyde Scaffslad pursuant to application VRW 24-01 submitted by same, finding, closing, abandoning, and vacating said utilities and drainage easement will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, conditioning the closing, abandonment, and vacation of said easement on the applicant granting an alternative drainage easement to the city, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute such quitclaim of easements as are necessary to effectuate the intent hereof, directing the city attorney to prepare said quitclaim of easement from the city to the applicant, directing the city attorney to prepare said grant of easement of the alternative easement from the applicant to the city, finding it is in the best interest of the city and for the general welfare of its citizens to close, abandon, and vacate said easement upon the conditions set forth in this ordinance, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Should the council wish to adopt this ordinance, an appropriate motion would be to adopt ordinance number 2024-2287 as read by title only.
Okay, we have adopt City Council Ordinance 2024-2287. Is there a motion?
Move to approve city ordinance 2024-2287.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion by council? Ms. Sykes, will you call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Whit?
Yes. Okay, next we move into resolution, item 16, City Council Resolution number 2024-051. Mr. Parker, would you read that by title?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members of the council, we have before you resolution number 2024-051, a resolution of the City of Lake City, Florida, appointing John Willem to serve through the end of the current term in seat F on the city's Planning and Zoning Board, Board of Adjustment, and Historic Preservation Agency Board, making certain findings of fact in support thereof, recognizing the expiration of said term on October 31st, 2024, directing the city clerk to reflect said appointment and expiration of term in such records of the city as are necessary and prudent, making certain findings of fact in support of the city clerk reflecting such appointment and expiration of term in the records of the city, repealing all prior resolutions in conflict and providing an effective date. Should the council wish to adopt this resolution, an appropriate motion would be to adopt resolution number 2024-051 as read by title only.
There a motion that City Council ordinance 2024-051.
Mr. Mayor, make the motion to approve resolution 2024-051.
Second.
Motion and a second is discussed by council. Ms. Sykes, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Sherman?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
No.
Mayor Webb?
Yes. Okay, next is for informational purposes, the invoices for Office County Department Administration. I don't have any comments of council.
I do have, one just for, transparency and accountability purpose concerning, summer camp at Richardson Community Center. Mr. Farrell, Mike Farrell, who stood before us at the last meeting, and, it was requested, the 100, up to 100, youth for summer camp, which is held at Richardson Community Center. There was an altercation, board member had an altercation with the recreation director, nothing physical. And this led to an unpleasant environment at Richardson, is what I'm told. Now, I'm bringing this to the, council's attention to, for us to decide what's in the best interest. I don't think it's for me to make the call on my own. The check has not been dispersed. There are, I believe, 84 youth who are registered. And there were some other, agreements that were made that did not, wasn't carried out as to, the agreement. But those, as far as I'm concerned, that's not really a big deal. At this point, Mr. Farrell, Mike Farrell, has turned in his resignation. So the recreation director who stood before us is no longer at Richardson. I spoke with, the president of the board, Richardson board, who is, Mrs. Zach Polk. And what he said to me is, as far as the director, Miss Nicole Callum, who is the, summer camp director, he will move her into the recreation director's position. She has someone, who she will or has appointed to take over the summer camp director. So we do have 84 children who are in the camp.
When does the program start?
It has started already. The program started last Monday, I believe. Last Monday, the program started. But because of the, what was spoken in the meeting, we are not on those lines anymore. Those, that's null and void, so it's a, really a new, I guess you can say, under new direction and all. So I wanna bring it to the council, to make you all aware, and if you have any questions or any concerns, of this.
I have a question. The 84 kids that have signed up, did they sign up under the pretense that they were being paid for?
That's one of the, things that didn't go the way, that we had agreed. When we discussed it, there were already 13 youth who were already registered, and I did ask the question, how many paid? And Mr. Polk told me that 5 had paid, 5 parents paid. And of the other 13, they were sponsored. But I did ask the question, how did we get the entire 84? And he said because of the, altercation, then he just made a decision to just give the money back. I said, but still what happened to the ones who were sponsored? Because evidently some organization sponsored these other youth. So that's where we are.
I think, if I may, I think we should leave it just like it is. Nicole is capable of running that program, and we've already
giving those funds for those children. And I'm pretty sure the word is out. Because I just happen to be a little bit nosy when it comes to Richardson Community Center and any function here in Lake City when we're dealing with children. And they're looking forward to those summer programs. And we've already budgeted for it. We've already decided that we will give them 30,000 up to 100 kids. Am I correct? 35,000 up to 100?
35.
Yes. So I think we should just leave it like that. And if they don't spend that money or those kids do not get in there, I think what all they don't spend should come back to us.
Well, no, and we said up to 100. They
Right.
don't have 100. So you're saying do the 84,
Yes.
pay for the 84, and then, so we'll only disperse for the 84. You're saying do the full 84.
Yes, ma'am. I agree with that.
That was my understanding of it.
If they're still holding the program, I mean, we've already prompted, in my opinion, it seems like we've already promised tonight. Obviously, I voted against it last time, but we told them we're doing it. As long as you're still having the program and following the same schedule that they presented to us.
Want to make sure everybody knows what's going on and.
Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody, good adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
But Mr. Mayor, I'd like to say one thing about the police department. I don't think those officers, sometimes they may not get the credit that they deserve, but there's things that go on in our community that the chief and his administration is well aware of what's going on. And I just want to say, I don't want to get into details as to what they done and how they did it. However, it was done. So I just want to give a shout out to the police department and the sheriff's department here at Lake City, because they work tirelessly hours to make sure that the mission was accomplished. So I just want to let y'all know I really appreciate that police department.
I agree with that. Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, adjourn. Thank you.